social media.
I want there to be screaming over this topic, okay, audience, and at home too, because there's a growing debate online about whether it's okay for some restaurants to designate themselves kid-free zones. One pub in London, England, started banning children 10 years ago. At first, they got complaints from parents, but the owner says their average customer spend has now doubled and staff turnover is down, and it's not just restaurants. South Korea has 451 no-kid zones scattered throughout the country. So, Jam, we'll start with you.
Yes. Yes. Oui, for those of you who speak French. Si, for those of you who speak Italian.
Spanish.
Or Spanish. I was in Bulgaria last week, and I was at a very nice bar having the most delicious, refreshing mojito, and there was an offspring there.
An offspring.
And
Wait,
the
why'd that bug you?
Because the offspring was telling their father to chill out. And I'm like, you shouldn't be here. In the words of Deborah Cox, how did you get here? You're not supposed to, you're underage. You're underage.
Yeah.
So listen, I am pro-children gallivanting in Red Lobster. But when I'm coming out to have fine dishes and fine beverages and the atmosphere is just vibing, I don't want to hear, but mommy!
Yeah.
But mommy, you shouldn't be here.
Well, I think it comes down to.
Oh.
Hold on now. I think it comes down to the establishment and the parents knowing their environment and knowing what their responsibility is.
You're supposed to be on my side.
I am, but I'm not, because I'm also in the restaurant business myself. So I think with a parent, you have to know the environment. You have to understand that if you're gonna go somewhere and adults are adulting, that you can't necessarily complain about that. And as a restaurant, you also have to know what kind of experience that you're providing and offering to the general public. So if you know that, let's say, for example, your establishment is more focused on the consumption of alcohol. Like in the business, you call it a fast bar versus a slow bar. Slow bar is like nice cocktails, which takes time and you sip it. Fast bar is like rum and coke, boom, right? And so there's a completely different environment. It's gonna affect your behavior positively or negatively. Either way, I think that if it's something where alcohol is the focus, I don't think that kids should be there.
I agree.
And so for like one of the spots that I'm involved in, after a certain time, no minors are invited or welcomed.
I mean, listen, as someone who has a child, I can make the argument for kids being there.
Right.
You know why? Because I raised my kid right and she behaves.
Oh.
I think what we're talking about here, yeah, go ahead and applaud. I think what we're talking about here is badly behaved kids. I think no one notices when the kids are well behaved.
Or badly behaved parents, because sometimes the parents are complaining that, like when I read this article, they were talking about the vape, like somebody was vaping and adults were adulting. I don't think you have any legs to stand on to be complaining about that if you brought your kid to a pub.
That's right, yeah. And I think those parents, they need to get their head checked. Yes. Seriously, you gotta know where you're going. Yeah. But as someone who has a child, it's the badly behaved kids, and I wanna say sort of broadly and culturally. I mean, you were in Bulgaria, and that part of Europe, and Europe in general, kids are allowed anywhere, anytime, alcohol, no alcohol, because culturally, that is accepted. But also culturally, the kids, by and large, behave differently there. Do you see what I'm saying? I think here, if you're not willing to have a kid who behaves well at home at dinner time, you should probably reassess whether you should be taking your kid out to a fancy restaurant.
I don't even think I'm worried about behavior. I think I just don't want to see children at a certain hour.
That's a bigger issue, maybe. Maybe that's a bigger issue. There it is.
That's dark, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it there.
You came in here all bubbly. Let me find out.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.